hey. When did you get into my house? What's new with you? Breath of the Wild just came out, like a couple weeks ago. The new episode? It's coming. I've been procrastinating, admittedly. Also playing Lost in Hyrule. Okay, fine. Fragile Dreams, Farewell Ruins of the Moon. Let me be as transparent with you guys as possible. This game's awful. Okay, just terrible. It was sold up to me as this underrated diamond in the rough for the Wii, and that I absolutely needed it in my collection. Well, whoever said that's an asshole. In case you guys can't tell by the cover art, this is an anime game. And if you don't know what anime is, simply as possible, it's a Japanese style of animation. Anime games have a reputation of either being amazing or just barely playable. But then you get into the realm of games like Orphan on the PS2, Dragon Ball Z Sagas on the GameCube, and this one. Fragile Dreams was released in North America in March of 2010. It was developed by a company called Tri Crescendo and Namco? Namco had a part in this? The game is set in a post-apocalyptic world, which already hyped me up because I love games like that. You take control of the main character Seto, a young boy who looks like he should be an alternate costume for Kirito from Sword Art Online. Oh, I had to get the anime reference in there, right? You get a little tutorial level that teaches you the basics of the game. That was nice. Thank you. Thank you for that. And I can already tell you that this game suffers from a serious case of first-person Wii controlleritis. First-person Wii controlleritis. Noun. A serious disorder where all first-person Nintendo Wii games must use the stupid point at the screen to look around and aim thing instead of a proper second joystick. There is no known cure. This control scheme has ruined games for me like Metroid Prime 3 and the GoldenEye remake. Yeah, get good, I know, but even back during the Wii days, controls like these were dumb. If you don't point at the screen, you can just run around like normal. And if you push the Z button, you can do the little thing from Zelda. I actually found myself playing the game with my finger over the sensor on the Wiimote just to avoid accidentally pointing at the screen. So what's the point of pointing at the screen? Well, Seto can eventually use ranged weapons, but the main reason is his flashlight. You use your flashlight to reveal the ghosts that you're defending yourself against. And yes, not pointing at the screen, Seto will still hold the flashlight forward, but sometimes you just want to aim around a little bit. The other buttons do what you would expect them to do. The D-pad brings up your map, your inventory, your inventory again. The A button attacks, B zooms in to focus on things, C crouches, and Z... Completion of the game's tutorial level gives you a little opening sequence montage, similar to pretty much every anime ever. Disclaimer, I do not know every anime ever, so if I'm wrong, please let me know. And I mean, what kind of anime game would this be without the OP? Answer, a good one. Maybe it's just me, but OPs like this should just be left to anime. The OP ends with you meeting this silver-haired girl. She falls off the whatever this is she's sitting on, and Seto runs over to help.
You touched me.
Bad touch! Stranger danger! She runs off, and that's it. You make it your goal to find her again because... well, because... One of the game's strengths, and I think you'll agree, is its use of color in its presentation. Like here, look, the sunset and the atmosphere. Just gorgeous for any game, really. Gosh, man, it's so pretty. I'm so excited to explore the rest of this world. Well, I hope you guys like the muddy, moldy basement, because that's where we spend most of our time. In the basement, spending our time finding campfires to save at.
This is so soothing.
What is this, Dark Souls? Praise the sun! So what is this game about? Well, as far as I can tell, it's a game about whacking ghost jellyfish with a stick. I mean, that's all we're really given, right? We meet a little machine called PF, or Personal Frame. This is essentially our guidance character, similar to Midna in Twilight Princess, or Ada in Zone of the Enders. So we make our way along with a ridiculous number of cutscenes of PF and Seto bonding, or PF teaching Seto about something. Whatever. No, seriously, the number of cutscenes here is ridiculous. Many times you'll regain control of Seto, take 3 steps, and BAM! Another cutscene. Need more information on what was taught during that cutscene?
Right.
No? Well, here you go anyway. Okay, have fun. Hold up, bitch! We ain't done here! It's like you've been jumped by an incredibly informative but ridiculously aggressive tutor just beating the shit out of you with information.
There is a high probability that it is. There is a high probability. A high probability. A high probability. A high probability.
Oh god. She's back! I don't know if you guys remember, but in an earlier episode of mine, Skyward Sword, I had this huge segment about how the supporting character pretty much just holds your hand the entire time by telling you the percentages of everything you're supposed to do, without really giving you a chance to figure it out yourself. I don't know, I hated that shit. It just ruined most of Skyward Sword for me. And here we are again. I already hate the supporting character, and it's not even her fault. Anyway, we get our stick and we start beating the hell out of the ghost-ass jellyfish. What other monsters might we encounter? Well, let's do the monster rundown. Jellyfish, dogs on fire, cut in half schoolgirls with the little wigglers. I don't know. Robot security guards, robot catwalking fashion models, birds, more birds, ice birds, blobs with masks, amalgamation of your worst nightmares, a tree. If your weapons break while fighting off these enemies, no worries. Sometimes when you sit at a campfire, you'll get a guy who walks around with pandas on his knees and a big-ass chicken head on to come by with items for you to buy. The items he sells vary from campfire to campfire. He's not very reliable though. I mean, there were a couple of times in-game where my weapon just randomly broke. Not really sure what that was about. But I went to a campfire to replace it, and he just would not show up. I don't know why. I visited the same campfire about 7 or 8 times before I finally said, "Forget it!" and went on to a different campfire. That campfire took many tries too until he eventually showed up. This is why having a man in a big-ass chicken head randomly show up as the shop owner is bad. Where's the what are you buying guy who just stands around waiting for you?
Please hold on. At a probability of 75%, that means there is a 25% risk that it will not open. I'm sure it'll work.
Okay, no, you know what? This is garbage. Fee in Skyward Sword just treated you like an idiot as a gamer, but she never flat out told you that there was a chance of failure or anything like that. She shoved you in the right direction, but she let you walk the rest of the way. This game just assumes that you are always swallowing glue at all hours of the day, just drowning yourself in glue. So at one point you find a little shack outside by the train tracks where a key is supposed to be held to let you continue exploring the basement. And once you get in there, you find the ghost of a little girl whose favorite thing ever is hide and seek. She wants you to play with her in exchange for said key. So why am I telling you this? I mean, is this a review or is it a walkthrough? Well, I'm telling you this because I want you to stop and think about this for a second. You are playing hide and seek with a ghost. A ghost! They're invisible! You'll never find them! Well, as we get closer to finding our way out of this gross-ass basement, PF starts to act a little funny. Normally she's throwing shade left and right or offering information, interesting or not, but she doesn't seem well.
Unfortunately, the battery I run on has become completely depleted. This will be our last conversation.
Oh no! She's dying? She gives Seto important information and levels with him as she shuts down. This is horrible. I mean, the closest thing Seto had to a friend is slowly dying right in front of him. The emotional distress this is causing me. I can get over it. So what other gameplay elements are present to give this game some variety? Well, if wasting your goddamn time is a high priority for you, then you will absolutely love the Crow story arc. This is Crow. He's kind of a dick. His design is pretty badass. I don't know, if I was a little more nimble or athletic, might make for a pretty badass cosplay. So take a break from our objective to... What were we doing? We talk with Crow for a little bit before he finally steals our pendant and runs off. So you run to one part of the amusement park, you hear him mock you through the Wiimote speaker, but guess what? He already left. So you go to the next part of the park. Nope, did it again. You make your way to the third part, and guess where he is? Take a wild guess. He's right back in the first place you checked. This is already irritating. But oh, meeting him by the merry-go-round isn't the end. No, you have to chase his ass around the merry-go-round. After you catch him, he just runs off again. The game tells you to sneak behind Crow to catch him. No matter how slowly I crawl around, he just always faces me. This took me well over 2 hours to figure out the first time I played this. You're supposed to hide in this teacup and wait for him to turn his back. And you caught him. Or did you? No, you didn't. And if you f***ing think that that's the f***ing end of this time-wasting filler-ass horse, you have a lot of time to rethink how you f***ing look at life. I just need to walk away for a minute. You have to go back to the other section to grab this here key. Come back to the place you were just in, unlock the door, and there's Crow. You have a stick in your hand. Just hit him. Beat him with your stick. Look, I do not condone that victims of bullying condone to violence. I'm just saying that this whole section would be over a lot faster if Seto would just stand up for himself. And sometimes standing up for yourself requires a stick. You climb the ladder up to the roller coaster tracks and spend entirely way too long running along this proverbial tightrope. I'm sorry, is this the best they could do? This is the best that they could come up with and they thought that this was okay. You know what, never mind. So you catch up with Crow, fall into his stupid pitfall trap that toddlers could point out in a crowd. You run through the underground passage to get out, you find Crow at the Ferris wheel, fight his stupid boss, and then he falls off the Ferris wheel and wrecks himself through the merry-go-round. And Seto starts crying his anti-gravity tears. Look at those. Someone called Bill Nye in to explain this one. Why does Seto give a shit? This guy spent the last hour and a half of this game giving him hell. Oh, and Crow lived. Well, great.
I guess we both have to make up for a lot of wasted time, huh?
Is this a fourth wall break? Is this game self-aware? Yeah, no joke. This entire section was a huge waste of time. Nothing more. And furthermore...
Thank you.
Excuse me? What was that?
What the? Did I? What was that?
What's wrong? We're friends now, and friends give each other kisses, right? I read that.
What do you even say to that? What can anyone even say about that? I mean, talk about an entire 360 of personality right there. Look, I know it's an anime game, but do we really need this type of fan service? Was this necessary? Did you have to put this in? Was this something that sold your game and you said, oh, we're not selling this unless the two boys kiss? The next major character is Sai, a ghost of a former human. She takes over the role as support character as we plow through the rest of the game. You meet her in the hotel as you're running all over the place, backtracking to places you've been before, running pointless errands just to progress. She will give you advice sometimes, but mostly she's just there because she has nothing better to do. That's not even me making a joke about her, that's the exact reason for her joining you. Honestly, there isn't a whole lot to say about her. Besides, I am so glad that she doesn't hold your hand at all. She gives you advice like Midna gave Link in Twilight Princess. That's a good analogy. Sai is to Midna, as PF is to Fi. Now get that bullshit off the screen. Hell, sometimes Sai knows shit and just won't tell you. Like here, she knows the key code to get into where the silver-haired girl was, but she just didn't want to tell you. Thanks for wasting my time. Oh, and speaking of wasted time... You know, how many times have I brought this up to you? How many times have I described elements in this game as wastes of time? Anyway, with Sai in your party, you get to experience some of the longest goddamn hallways in existence. They just never end. And there are several of them, with little more to do than just run. Run down the longest hall ever. Climb down the longest ladder ever. Climb up the tallest staircase ever. Enough! Man, I'm exhausted just thinking about it. You know what I just noticed? The game is overrun with cats. Just cats everywhere. The game should have been called Catty Dreams, Farewell Cats with a Meow. A cat even helps Seto and Sai get out of this room they're trapped in, which kinda sucks because this is the first time anyone really gives you any sort of backstory. Yeah, 12 hours in, mind you. And finally, we have our first encounter with goddamn Shin. Shin is the main antagonist and isn't actually introduced until the last parts of the game. So there's little time to really appreciate who he is and what his goals are. The best way to explain his horrific objective would be to compare them to other antagonists. Final Fantasy VII, Sephiroth went on some serious murder sprees, became a god, and tried to destroy the planet. Legend of Zelda, Ganondorf wanted to get the Triforce to obtain complete control over the sacred realm and plunge Hyrule into never-ending darkness. Fragile Dreams, Shin hates the use of language as a form of communication and wants to kill all humans because they say words to each other. Language. No, let's forget about the scientists who are rigging people up to their illegal machines to expose the flaws of the human design, which ultimately killed you and the girl you had feelings for. No, let's focus on the language. This game's got me feeling some type of way, man. By now, you'll have checked the time of this video and realized that I haven't really spoken about the story building up to Shin's goal at all. There's a reason for that. It's because there isn't really any story. And what little story that exists is told through these memory collectibles.
You really do love playing hide-and-go-seek, don't you?
Yep, and I like apples and running races too.
And ponies, and boy bands, and Justin Bieber. Most of these collectibles are telling the last living memories of the people who left them. They all circle around one point. This was the supposed last day of humanity. After a while, though, you kind of stop caring about what the memory items have to say, because by then, you get the point. Don't care, 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 don't care.
Okay. Don't talk about this being
don't care. So here's what I was able to pull from what the game gave me. Mankind was working on a project called Glass Cage that was supposed to unlock humans to be able to connect with each other so that they could understand one another without the need to communicate using language. To do so, they needed a human to experiment on as the catalyst. Sai was the first catalyst. She was in so much pain, they would keep hooking her up to various electronics and systems to get her to unlock mankind. Shin was one of the scientists working on her project. He felt bad for her and would slip her candies every now and then. They ultimately succeeded in unlocking mankind's potential, but as a result, when people went to sleep, they would never wake up, ultimately dying. Glass Cage did not take everyone, however. Shin wants to restart Glass Cage and finish wiping out the rest of mankind, using the silver-haired girl from the beginning of the game as the new catalyst. And this is why we have to stop Shin. Even this little snippet of the story is enough of a concept to be able to build a fun and engaging game around it. Too bad they didn't, huh? So screw it. I've had enough of this game. Let's get it over with. We save the silver-haired girl, who comes with us as we follow Shin up the tower. Sai gives us some words of advice, and then we make our way up what looks like the Eiffel Tower. This is it, our final battle. We will stop Glass Cage once and for all. Shin's a big softy, though. I mean, using a ranged weapon like a crossbow, there's pretty much no way to lose. He creates these energy balls out of the ground, shoot them all, and then he starts charging up like he's a Super Saiyan or something. Shoot him! Rinse and repeat. Sometimes he shoots blue laser beams. Just crouch. They'll never hit you. And this is it, the final blow. And we win! Woo! Boy, what a feeling being done with this stupid game. Let's just sit back and enjoy the ending.
Shin, the truth is that I love you.
Okay, what? No. I'm out. I experienced something today that no man, woman, or whatever should ever experience. Sometimes we as humans make mistakes, but those mistakes are what make us human. The experience we earn from those mistakes help us grow to be the best that we can be. And even though our existence on this earth is brief, I chose to play a game that I thought would have left me with pleasant, happy memories. And all it's done is brought me grief. But no more. I just want to take a moment to say thank you guys so much for watching the video. If you guys liked it, hit that like button. And if you're new around here, consider hitting that subscribe button. Got friends or family that like video games? Consider sharing the video. It does help the channel grow, and I much appreciate it. Also, be sure to check out some of my previous episodes if you haven't seen them. The viewer comment question this time is, do you have a favorite cartoon or anime? Any answer counts, as long as it's animated. Let me know in the comment section below. But as always, thank you guys so much for watching, stay awesome, and I will catch you in the next one.